Howdy y'all, it's Seth, and you probably can't see it, but we are getting the tiniest little bit of hail coming down here in Erwin, Tennessee today. Yes, I'm out on the road for work. The weather, even though it's April, has dripped down into the mid-30s to low 40s today. So of course, I stopped at Steel Rails Coffee House to get myself a thru-hiker coffee. Yes, if you don't know, Erwin is a very popular stop along the Appalachian Trail. There were actually a couple of thru-hikers sitting in there when I got here, but I didn't really want to bother them and pick their brains, but that lifestyle fascinates me. Who knows, maybe someday. If you don't know what a thru-hike is, it's basically going from Georgia to Maine along the Appalachian Trail in a calendar year. Most of them do it in pretty much one fell swoop, which reminds me of a comedian I heard, but I'm not going to go there. So I'm going to show you a little bit of Erwin, some coffee shops, a little of the downtown. Not a long video today, just kind of an in and out, but here you go. Enjoy it. Alright, so I did have to stop here as my travels took me right over this bridge. That behind me is the Nolichucky River, famous for Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone. Also, if you don't know, this behind me right here is actually part of the Appalachian Trail. Yep, it comes right over this road bridge. It's kind of a dreary day, but still absolutely beautiful. And then over there is Uncle Johnny's Hostel. It's kind of a world-famous Appalachian Trail hostel. And I'm going to stick my head in there real quick. There's some hikers sitting outside, so I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of filming, but I'll sneak what I can. I don't like filming a bunch of people. That just kind of seems rude. But let's go check it out. All right, so that about wraps up my day in Erwin. I've got a little more work to do and then I'm heading home, but I figured I'd share with you. We saw downtown, I got some coffee. We saw Uncle Johnny's world famous Appalachian Trail hostel. I didn't really go in anywhere. They gave me permission to film, but I didn't want to walk in on hikers. It's an ugly day here, so many of the hikers are taking what they call a zero, which means they're just kind of staying on site. I'm actually surprised no one asked me for a ride into town. There were a couple hikers I thought about engaging, but I didn't want to interrupt their conversation because I am driving right past it, and sometimes they like to resupply at the Dollar Generals or the Food City. But that may be a different video down the road. I was told if I do go in and buy something, I've got to show my haul. My wife told me hauls are very important. Everybody likes seeing it. So the boring stuff out of the way first. I got a brand new camp pillow at Uncle Johnny's. It's a nice inflatable pillow. I love the one I have, but it's a couple of years old and it's starting to not hold air. So I got a camp pillow. There's also a 50-50 chance that this will become my wife's camp pillow because that's just how things go. So there's that. I did get dinner on my next camping excursion. Mountain House. Yes, I tease it, I make fun of it, but it's the greatest standard freeze-dried food there is. I got pad thai with chicken, so we'll have to check out that sometime on my next camping adventure. I also got somewhere around here freeze-dried Skittles. This falls under the if you know, you know category. Skittles are good, freeze-dried. I've never done crack cocaine, obviously, but I would imagine this is kind of like it. So, I got that. You know what? Let's do it. Sorry. Yep. Look at that. It's a freeze-dried Skittle. I don't know if they're not allowed to call them Skittles. They're Rainbow Rocks. That is a freeze-dried Skittle. Oh my God, so good. So good. And then, of course, there were a bunch of hikers kicking around drinking, and I wanted to drink with them, or at least be drink adjacent. Try to be cool by proxy. So I figured I'd drink what they drink. This may be the first Yoo-hoo I've had in 15 years, maybe more. But I gotta crack that open right now. This ain't coming home. This is just a beverage for the road. That's as Yoo-hoo as I remember it being. Not terrible, but it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks so much for hanging out on my work day to Erwin. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. It's definitely been enjoyable for me, with the exception of the whole work part. And I will catch you on the next one. And until then, happy trails.